The stories shared on the Busy Baddies are submitted by real listeners and are intended for entertainment and discussion purposes only. To protect the privacy of everyone involved, all names, companies, and identifying details have been changed or omitted. Any resemblance to real people or events are purely coincidental. We believe in keeping it real while keeping it respectful. Thank you for sharing your experiences and for trusting us to spill the tea with care. This isn't about busy work, it's about power, proximity, and what really happens behind the scenes.
Welcome to the Busy Baddies, where assistants speak freely, boundaries get tested, and professionalism meets real life. I'm Michelle, EA to a Fortune 150 female CEO breaking glass ceilings. And plot twist, she's back!
And I'm Mel. That's right. I'm back in the EA seat supporting another CEO, making power moves, and creating space at the table for all of my people. And in season 2, we're saying the things you've only ever said to your work bestie.
We're bringing bigger stories, bolder takes, and the real talk that keeps this community thriving.
Let's get into it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Busy Baddies.
Yeah, welcome back. And as you probably heard, there's been a plot twist.
I know. I'm so excited. I feel like we should have brought in a drum line or something to play
Yes.
so you could share the good news. So tell all the baddies out there what's going on.
Yeah, so total unexpected plot twist. I am back in the C-suite EA role again. Very unexpected this time. And an interesting, I guess you would say, addition to the role, which is kind of around building the culture, the mentorship, the development of EA team in the rest of the C-suite underneath my leader. So super excited about that. That I have always felt like is almost like my ministry or my calling in life. I love pouring into other people. So really exciting opportunity. Felt like I would be crazy not to take it, which is kind of, on the topic that we're talking about today.
Yeah. So, I first, the biggest congratulations. I am so now excited.
Thank you.
To have you as a peer.
Yes.
Not that you were not a peer in your previous roles, but, the fact that we can now brainstorm, talk about best practices as a C-suite peer-to-peer, both supporting CEOs. I mean, I'm just over the moon for you, and I'm stoked.
Thank you. And I'm looking forward to the collective. Actually, I have my first staff meeting on the 18th, and I'm super excited to get everybody in a room and inform them big things are going to happen. We have connections at other companies. I want to do collective things together and things for us as a company. But I think there is definitely power in numbers.
No question.
And the things that you and I can do together in the EA community in Indianapolis is extremely exciting.
Yeah, no, for sure. So before we kind of go through the process for those living under a rock and haven't been listening to us.
Sorry about you.
Yeah, sorry about you. So, you were supporting a C-suite leader on my leadership team.
Yes.
So kind of, and she retired for those, again, that have been living under a rock.
Right.
So kind of walk us through that first job change post your leader, and then kind of where you maybe started thinking, I'm ready to go back.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy. So when she announced that she was retiring, being a publicly traded company, we are, it's kind of tough because we're in a different situation. It can't be announced right away. You have to be very careful because of the stock market things behind it. Her being a named officer in the company made it even more complicated. So there was a lot of things behind the scenes that we had to do probably like a year in advance. So she gave me a heads up and she's like, hey, this is going to be my drop dead date. This is my target. We need to figure out, do you want to stay on? What does that look like? What do you want to do? Is this a natural pivot point for you? Do you want to stay in the EA role? What can I do to help?
And let me just first quickly say, because I'm sure that is not the norm at all for a lot of leaders. There's been too many people that we personally know that have been totally caught off guard by the announcement of their leader, whether they're retiring, leaving the company. And, you know, we certainly understand the legalities around that, obviously. You know, like you mentioned, being a NEO officer, like there are rules. And so, you know, the last thing anybody needs is stuff to get out that absolutely cannot get out. But I think that kind of just proves the relationship that the two of you had, that she was able to be open with you and then not only that, help you find your next role.
And she even went a step further to actually create a role in her organization that had never been there before. So again, I always count myself extremely blessed that I was able to work for a leader who not only got it, but also was advocating on my behalf and trusted me enough with that information to say, okay, where do we go from here? How do we do this? So she asked me and I was like, you know, I really need to think about this. Like, I have done this for 25 plus years. Excuse me. And this is all that I know. I don't really know if I want to do anything else. Like, I've got some soul searching to do. And she's like, it's no big deal. You've got time. So we circled back around, probably around the 6-month mark. And I was like, you know, I think I would be crazy because the chances of me having the opportunity to have a leader who's going to create a path for me is probably pretty limited, if I'm being honest. And I'm sure many of you out there can relate to that as well, because you feel very boxed in. So I felt that I was doing myself a disservice if I did not take the opportunity that she was presenting me with. And project management is very transferable for an executive assistant instead of the person being the project.
You actually have work.
Yes. You have an actual project. Instead of it being a person, it's an actual project. So it was just kind of an interesting transition, and got into the role and started just realizing just how not indoctrinated, or I don't even really know what the right word is, but like just felt this feels all wrong. This is totally opposite of everything I've done my entire career. You know, they want you to ask questions. I was always in a role where I never was supposed to ask questions. I was a part of a bigger picture where I was the picture. And so there was just a lot of things that were really hard to get past for me as a career EA. And I know there was another C-suite EA that we had on the team that changed into a project management role as well at the same time. And she had the exact same struggles. So it was validating for me to connect with her. And she's like, I'm miserable. I'm not getting it. It's not catching on. So yeah, that was kind of the way that it went.
Okay. So you're in this role, you know, as EAs, as perfectionists, as the ones that are just expected to have all the answers, to know everything. Was any of those kind of feelings creeping up of, because that's what I feel like I would have trouble with, of, and not necessarily a control thing, but the fact that you are so in the zone and you know what's expected of you to then go into a role that, you know, maybe you just aren't really sure. You're probably questioning yourself. Like, is this right? Is this wrong? But you have your own like high expectations for yourself. So, when was it to where you were like
very soon?
Well, hey, the fact that you're able to recognize that and kind of pivot and then have that awakening
that was rough.
Is huge.
Yeah, and I will say this was the hardest change that I've ever made for several reasons. I had always been a career EA for 25 plus years. Going into something, to your point, that I didn't know, that I didn't feel good at, that I was holding myself to a very unrealistic expectation of making quick impact, because as EAs, we are impact makers on the daily basis. And I think that was also another thing that I really struggled with in the role for 9 months was I didn't get to see the impact I was making every single day. And it was not pouring back into me.
Yeah.
And so it was like there was a lot of different things that were going on, and the confidence that I lost, the countless meetings that I left in tears. Like I feel so defeated. My confidence is dying. And to your point, the perfectionist in us, the proactiveness, all these things, I felt like I was slowly dying in that seat just based on those things. And it was nothing that my team did wrong or my leader even. It was just personal pressure from myself almost. And it was like, I feel like I'm just dying on the vine, and like, this is not a good feeling for me. So when this kind of came into my lap, I was like, okay, maybe it's a sign. Maybe I did make a wrong choice.
Right.
Yeah.
Share with us how this sign came to be.
Yeah, so there was, in the last role that I was in, I had followed her to the C-suite. I mean, she was kind of in the C-suite as the general counsel, but then when she was promoted to CAO. But this person who is at my new company worked under her a couple layers in the GC role.
Ah, okay.
And she was looking for an EA, 2.5, probably 3 years ago now at this point. And she came back around and she's like, oh, I thought she would have retired by now. And I was like, me too, but she's not. So, she was like, and I said, but I can help you find somebody amazing. I know a few people who are looking. I'm happy to put out feelers. So I emailed a couple girls and they interviewed. She landed on one, and it worked out great. They're still together. And so then this role came up and just got a text message of, hey, like, this came up. You should really probably look into it. And by the way, I went ahead and put your resume in the hat for it. So,
wow. Okay, first, let's just talk about the power of a network.
It's so powerful.
I mean, if that doesn't give you goosebumps right there, that the fact that, first off, your network helped somebody get an admin, and now the tables are turned, and
let me repay the favor.
What a boomerang moment.
Yeah, it was crazy. And this person I interacted with a little bit in the GC role, so it wasn't like I knew her very well. But I think I was even telling my husband a few nights ago, it shows, to your point, the power and the impact that you have on people that you aren't even aware of.
Right.
People are watching you from a distance. They know if you work for someone who's tough. People have admiration and respect for that. They really put a lot of stock in you as a person. So I never really knew that she felt that way about me until this role came about. And she's like, oh my God, like, I have so much respect for you and the role that you did and the job and, the quality of work. Every interaction was so pleasant. You were always like a top notch. And it was just like, I never even knew that she even recognized what I did. Mm-hmm. So I think it was a very full circle moment, and it was eye-opening for me because I was like, it's just a really great reminder to everybody out there. Even though you feel invisible and that you don't matter, the work that you do is watched and noticed by others, even if they don't say that. Mm-hmm. And leverage that because, again, as we've said before, your network is your net worth.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's funny because I was telling my husband the wonderful news, and I was like, oh my gosh, they have no idea the rock star they just got. I was like, she can run circles around me, and he's my husband, so of course he loves and me and knows that I do a great job. But he was like, really? And I was like, oh, tenfold can Melissa run circles around me. I said, I'm just so excited.
No, that's very kind of you to say. And I always say, and I think I even said to you when you told me that directly, if I was where you are at 13 years, I would have been unstoppable at 25. So be proud of where you are and what you do, because there's people that are, leaning on you, that are counting on you, that very much respect you and the leader that you are. So sit in that and be very proud of what you do, because in the same regard, I feel that all of those girls on that C-suite team that I just left 9 months ago, we all could work circles around each other in different ways. So we all have our superpower. Yeah. We always have something to learn from each other and have something to admire about someone. So
So I'm excited even for like the topics to come and just learning about what you're learning, and so excited for the doors of things that this is going to open for this podcast and so much more. I mean, I know we've said it before that we want to have guests and all of those things. So we are certainly not done here. That the sky's the limit for us, and we are looking forward to just kind of growing in this. I mean, we record in a spare bedroom at my house. Like we aren't produced. We do it all ourselves. Like we're learning as we go. Like
we're getting it done. Like we do.
We're raw and real, and no fluff. And so we are who we are. But
that's right.
This is going to be a fantastic
it's great.
New chapter.
It's great. And I'm really excited, I think, most, again, about the development piece of this role that I'm going to be in now. And I think it was like, am I being given this opportunity to help change even organizations that I am tied to help them see the value in a position like this for the CEO's EA? Because I think oftentimes development, talent, all of that is placed in HR, and it's not housed with someone who actually does the job and knows what that group of people want to be poured into with. I don't want another course about Excel. I don't want to learn about Concur. I want to learn about leadership and development and business acumen and all of these things. And when you have it housed in HR, I think that's where, again, I had so much respect for the company, because I was like, they get that it needs to be someone who's been an EA, who sits in the seat, who can really help this team develop and grow. And I would love to see that in all companies eventually.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even just from the transition of our CEO, and, with that comes a change of a team. Obviously, EA's changed. And, it really changed how we worked as a team and how we grew, how we learned to work better together, all of those things. And now, I mean, we obviously had a goodbye lunch for you, and sitting at that table, it didn't feel like a work lunch, you know, like you're like, oh, I got another work lunch. I mean, we were literally sitting there catching up, asking about family, joking about all sorts of things. And, to kind of sit back and just watch that happening, and then to go back 5 years in the team prior of like how dreaded, I think we got together for Christmas and we did, some sort of Christmas exchange, and that was not even often. It was just so divided, so awkward, like nobody knew what to ask because we weren't really close. Like we go to work and I mean, it's a party when we're all in the office together, which is not often, now that we're hybrid and people are in every different location, floors, all of that stuff. But we certainly have made it intentional to kind of make sure we're spending time together. And at the end of the lunch, I don't know who said it, but they're like, why do we not do this more
until
often?
Somebody leaves?
Yeah. So I was like, noted, getting one on the calendar for next month. Because it was really nice. And I know they all feel the same way. It's hard for us to leave for an hour and just enjoy us. I mean,
it's so important.
But like we have to do that, and we have to be able to say, we're going out for our team lunch. Like, can you please just not bother us for an hour? Like, just let us have that. And it's really hard.
It is. And it was, so 5 years ago, I do think about the division in the team. The feel was very different before you got into the seat. And then it was like, insert Michelle and then me, in the way that I don't even ask permission. I just like plan shit, right? And it was like, let's do a cookie exchange at my house and have brunch and do this. And it was like, and then all these people are like, I love this. And then it was like, oh, like you're just pouring gasoline on my fire.
It was a total catapult.
It was.
To where then we were having a bonfire at another person's house and all of those things. And it's just been wonderful.
It has. And it's tough because I think also you have to call out, you also have to be very careful of who you're vulnerable with and the tribe that you surround yourself with. And I think that's where building trust is so important with each other, is that you don't want to give someone a window into your life, especially with the seat that you sit in. You support the top person in the company. There's a lot of confidentiality. There is people who will try to get close to you for ulterior motives, but you always have to feel on guard as the CEO's EA of like, well, who's going to ask me a question? And obviously I know you well enough that you'd be like, I'm not telling you that. Like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But, you know, you have been vulnerable enough to let people in. And then, yes, you're always going to have closer packs that you have with 3, 4, 5 people. But I think that is also very important. And that's what I plan with the team that I have, is like, let's do like a suit pitch in around fall and like maybe invite the girls from, you know, where I worked before, and like intertwine that and network and get to know each other and make friends. And because to our point, always, it's so isolating to be in this role.
Yeah. And same with, you know, like our admin conferences that we spoke about. I mean, I am so excited that that you carry that on, and we have another company that's doing all of those things, and we'll get bigger and better, and maybe hopefully in 5 years, if not sooner, like we are hosting an admin conference that we're putting on
for the whole city at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yeah, like, you know,
I'm claiming that. In 5 years. In 5 years, we're going to be in Lucas Oil Stadium with 10,000 EAs in Indianapolis. It's going to be a pay-to-play event. Companies will have to invest. I say we did. Sky's the limit.
Yeah, we'll have Caitlin Clark.
That's right. Powerful women guest speakers like Beyonce's mom. I mean, we already know her from the women's conference.
She's loved me. I got a book signed. So.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Oh, but it's so true. Like you have to be the change that you want to see. Yep, and that's why Michelle and I always say, in the seat that you're in, utilize that seat, leverage it, get in front of the people and help make a difference. You know, you're in the seat for a reason. So that's where I'm super excited.
Yeah. And we're excited for you. We're going to be, you know, this will be a fun little topic moving forward of like, okay, what happened? What happened at work? So so we're gonna take a little spring break.
Yes.
And then we'll be back. And I mean, I'm excited for everything this will bring.
I am too. And the Baddie brunch is gonna have to double inside next time. That was completely like filled up in a week.
Insane. I think it was less than a week.
I think it was too.
I went very low on the numbers because I was going to be like so bummed if like nobody wanted to attend. So I just was very light and did a table for 10, and I didn't want to make it too big to where like we couldn't have any intimate conversation. But I will absolutely, for the summer one, will get a bigger space. And, I want anybody who wants to come to attend. So this will not be the last one. We're excited to meet everybody that did sign up. I already have a waiting list for the next one. So if you did not get in this one, I promise you, everybody that wants to attend this next one, there will be no limit. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I don't know what to say. It does feel very surreal. And maybe the podcast manifested me being back in the EAC because I was like...
we put it out in the world, and there it was.
And it boomeranged right on back and hit me in the forehead, and here I am back in the C-suite EA seat. So
I love it. I'm so excited for you. You're going to do fabulous. Everybody have a wonderful spring break. If you have not gone on spring break yet, have a wonderful Easter holiday, and we will be back in April.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
That's it for us today, bringing order to corporate chaos.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that follow button.
Yours truly, Melissa
and Michelle,
the Biz-y Baddies.